here's my project 3 for Sweet Memories, and it really was a sweet memory. Hope you enjoy it. Hi, this is Dorothy with That's Scrapbooking, and I am going to show you project 3 from Sweet Memories. So this is kind of a fun one, and it gave me the pictures that they used on the advertisements and the instructions and what have you. Had a 90th birthday of an elderly man, a 90-year-old man, I assume, and on showing on the pictures. And it occurred to me, well, a 10 years ago, my mother had her 90th birthday. My sister and I decided to have a party for her. Now, my sister lived in New York at the time. I still live in Texas, and Mom was in North Carolina. And so we all had to kind of get together, come down from New York and come over from Texas. And my aunt and uncle actually flew over from Texas, from Midland, Texas. And we had a 90th birthday for Mom. And so Lorraine and I organized it. And I'm taking out that piece, and look at that little frame. That's where there's going to be a silly picture of my sister and I at some point. Now, there are all these squares, these scallop squares and squares, and they get cut in half, like I'm showing you here. And they are going to make kind of like a little bunting, little banner of flags going on both pages. So I am just going to go ahead and cut all of those pieces from diagonally. So we've got triangles. And in the meantime, I'm kind of sorting which parts go where. So those are picture frames, and a piece here and a piece there, and there's another one of the little flags. So it's getting cut. So one's pink and one's kind of a taupe gray, mink, I think. Okay, so this is me. I was sorting all the pieces, and I've got them, I've got various, like the key was a die cut, so I popped it out and went ahead and sorted all the pieces, or at least most of the pieces. And so I've sorted them, but now I've got to take them all off to put the page together. So this was one of the exclusive pieces of paper that was a 12 by 12. I cut an inch off of all sides according to the instructions. So it gets put on a piece of 12 by 12 white daisy, so that you get an all-around half-inch frame going around this piece. So I'm just making sure I did cut it at 11 by 11. And so there's the half-inch border. And then we have two pieces that are 12 inches long, and one piece is about maybe a half-inch wider than the other piece. And so the green is going to be a frame, a slight frame for that pretty mulberry paper. That it looks like wallpaper to me. So anyway, that goes on the left-hand side. Excuse me. So it's like a 1.75 inches over from the side, from the left, and goes from top to bottom. So that's easy enough. And then we've got the title all together, which is perfect for this birthday because people were coming from many miles away to celebrate Mom's birthday. So I'm popping it up with a little bit of foam, and it is going to get put right up there, all together here. And I'm going to make a little banner cut. I'm not going to go up too high. So go from the corner to the center. And there you've got a banner cut. And that is going to go below the title. So I need a wider ruler because it's like 2 5/8 inches over from the left. So I need a 3-inch ruler so I can do that. And I've got this ruler that I beat up. I cleaned it so well, I cleaned the lines right off of it in a lot of places. And so I am putting it at 2 5/8 over. And it is going to be 2 3/4 inches up from the bottom. So there we go. And that is going to be the resting place for one of the pictures of Mom. Now, this is where there's all these pieces, all those little triangles that I cut. They are going to go in kind of a curved banner going from one end across to the other end. And so you kind of want to have to, the placement isn't too bad, but you kind of want to watch what you're doing. So the keyhole is the first piece that's going to go down, and it gets very close to the edge of the white daisy. And I'm just putting it at a slight slant so that we can kind of swoop down and then come up. And we've got the, that's going to go over covering a portion of that keyhole. So that's going to go, whoops, I forgot it. There's a lot of detail on the bottom of that piece, and that needs to show. Detail always adds interest. And look at this gorgeous, I love this key. I'm not going to use my roll glue. I'm going to use the liquid glue so that I don't have to work with all those little webs that come from doing the roll-on glue across open areas. And that's a gorgeous key. And then we've got, I'm just putting it along the top, not along the bottom, because things are going to go up under those bottoms. So I'm just kind of going over from one corner to the next. And then we've got another, well, I've got to put the blue in place first. So all those little triangles, which is kind of a nice little technique to remember, as if you just want to make some squares and then cut them diagonally, then you can make some nice little flags for a little banner going across something, especially good for parties, right? So there's a sticker, and I'm just cutting the edge off. That's one of the zip strips. And putting a little banner cut on it. And this is a good time where, which I've said to you all many times before, you want to kind of start at both ends and work your way to the middle so that you don't end up doing what I did, which is having to move a bunch of pieces because I didn't quite finagle them right. And so, see, that guy is kind of hanging off the edge. So I have to kind of move everything over to the left a little bit. If you start on the right and then you start on the left, then you can meet in the middle and do a better job of placement than just starting at one end and working all the way over to the other. Just a thought. One that I don't, I say it, but I don't do it for myself. Sometimes. So I'm just kind of squeezing that in. Now, what I like about this little frame, number one, the piece on the left-hand side is the pop out from the inside of that. And these little round medallions go on either end of the... I was thinking I could put a string in there, but there's no need. It's totally covered up. So the little medallions kind of finish off the banners at each end. And I took that little frame and took the picture of my sister and I used it as a go-by for cutting the 4x6 down to like a 1.5 by 2. I mean, it's a tiny little frame here. And I'm scooching that. I missed putting one of them down. It's another zip strip. And so I'm scooching that one under. And so here's someplace in there there's my picture of my sister and I. We were in the kitchen of the assisted living and putting fruit trays and the drinks and the cake all together in there. So we were having fun because we never get to do this. We're so far apart, distance-wise. Have been almost, well, since I was 18 and I moved away from New York. So we just haven't been able to do things that sisters can do together, which is really, it's been, I won't lie, it's been tough at times. So these are 2 stickers that go on there. The green flower was one of the die cuts. There's the heart, almost got lost. That could have been popped up too. And then we've got a teeny little heart that's going on there. So that sticker could be used for like a date or something if you want. I'm popping this little house up to go down in the corner. So we've got a nice little grouping down in the corner there. So it's no place like home. And then we've got a little sticker over here that says together. So, and I like how it has the mink color. So it's kind of spotty here and there on the page to coordinate it. So here's page 2, and I'm doing the same thing, doing the 1/2 inch border going around, but this time I'm using a ruler. So I'm going up a 1/2 inch, over a 1/2 inch. My lines are just kind of, I got off by one line. So you kind of have to watch, even when you're using a ruler, that you're not going from one line to another and missing something. Okay, so this is going to be another banner. A little bit easier to cut because it's not quite as wide as the mint colored one was. And that's a good color to use too, the other side. So this goes over, and it is going to be about 2 3/4 inches over from the right-hand side. And then we've got our mink, and that is going to go so 2 inches up and 2 inches over. And then the colors go on a diagonal from each other. So, and these were the perfect colors, actually. It worked out really well with the colors that my mom was wearing that day. Just pure luck. So, and these are all getting about a 1/2 inch apart, give or take. So pretty, right? Pretty color combination. So now we've got this little lace, kind of looks like a lace doily, which is perfect. And it gets tucked under there. I cut it off. They may have put the whole thing under there, but I went ahead and cut it off. And then we've got another group of flags and what have you that are going to go across. Now that little piece there can totally be used for journaling. And so I'm trying to figure out what they've put up in the corner. It's kind of hard to tell. And it's kind of hard to tell because it doesn't show the camera at all. And so I realized that's what they were using, was that camera sticker. So I'm just kind of using it the way they did. And then there's a little rose that goes in the center of the doily. which is kind of cool because my grandmother, and I'm sure my mother did too, but they not crocheted, whatever it is you do with doilies. How do you make doilies? Uh, Tatting. Anyway, I have doilies that my grandmother made, her mother, my mother's mother. And I love to place them around the house because I have little pieces of things that my grandmother had, or my grandmother, actually both grandmothers, made. I have a cranberry glass set that my father bought for his mother in Italy during World War II. So he was in the Coast Guard, and he bought her this gorgeous ginger jar with two candlesticks with hurricane glass over them. And so that was my grandmother on my father's side, and then my grandmother on my mother's side. I've got her china, I've got her doilies, I've got a bunch of stuff from her, stuff that she made, clothes that she made. I even have a quilt that her mother made. So pretty darn cool. Okay, so here's a sticker of the key. So we've got a key on the left and a key on the right. And that's going on that little thing to kind of show it off. And then we've got green medallions that are going over, and I am going to pop those up with the larger of the foam dots. So that's going there, and under that one, I'm going to put it there for a while until I figure out where to put these other pieces. And I'm just trying to find there was one piece that I missed putting on there that had a date on it, and I know that I cut it, and now I can't find it. So that's okay. I can put a date elsewhere, even on the established. So that gets tucked under, and then we've got our little flags. Go a little bit more of an angle down and up. Little scoop or swoop, and then I've got the roses. And here's the key. This is so cool. I was just really, I went on a big search because I knew I had those pictures in my head, but I couldn't find them. Turns out they were on my husband's computer. So I just printed them out, and it just worked out perfectly. So I'm taking that little piece that I cut off. I thought, I hate to have anything just go to waste. So I'm putting it down here to kind of counterpoint to the one above. Just trying to see what else I need. Sometimes it's really hard to find things on the sticker sheet. There's a lot of stuff to look at, and there's some little things that get overlooked. So here we've got the layout. So the layout for both of the pieces. And so I started cutting up the pictures. So there's the little picture of my sister and I that I used that frame to kind of as a go-by to cut the picture out. And then I put it under there. And this is the picture with the crown that came from the sticker sheet for Mom. And you see we got her a tiara. And she's got that great green on that just kind of goes really well with these colors. And I decided there was a bunch of pictures that I wanted to put on here. So the only way I could really do that was to either make flip-flaps or just make a page of all the 4x6 pictures in a page protector. We've got page protectors that hold the 4x6s. And I really wanted the pictures to go on the page. And so did a lot of thinking about where to put them and which ones to use. Didn't want to use, some of them were just like, it's not enough information there. It would just be too cluttered. And I'm having a time with my flip-flaps. These are side flip-flaps. And I'm just not, think I had too much coffee today. I'm shaky. So I'm just trying to get it right, and they won't lay straight, and it's because of me. Anyway, the thing to do, I think, is to cut some of that excess of plastic off in there because it's getting in the way. So you want to cut the excess that doesn't have the stickum on it, and it makes it a little bit easier to maneuver these. So what I'm doing is making a, instead of a full stack, I'm kind of making a bit of a waterfall here, and I'm trying to cut those under, and they won't come out straight, and I'm just getting beside myself here. I'm going overboard with trying to get it just right. So it's being a little bit uncooperative. They're not going to lay perfectly straight all the time. So, and though I wanted the birthday cake to be on top, so you know this is what we're dealing with. This is the 90th birthday of my mother and her sister. So they share a birthday, and kind of fun that we had them, there they are together, and their brother is right there behind them. And here's their cake with the candles, and Mom starts blowing them out. Then my aunt comes over to help her out, blow the candles, and there's the Queen. And then I've got these pictures, so Mom with the cake where the candles are lit, getting ready to blow them out, and just putting that right down there. Look, see how perfect that goes with that? And then I've got just a real sweet picture of Mom and her sister hugging, and it's just really, really touching. That's my sister and her husband, and really nice picture of them, and I wanted that to be on the page too. And so perfect for it, and she's got some blue to go with the blue on the page, and there we go. There's the star of the show, and we're all together here. So I just love how this worked out. I hope you like it. Thanks. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. Thanks for watching. Bye now. YouTube channel and learn along with me. Thanks. Bye-bye.